This bulletin is coming to you live from Joy99.7 FM here at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Kekeli in Ho, and it's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, public anger over death of 34 people, including a 1-year-old child in a gory accident on the Cape Coast Takoradi Highway more than 10 years after another accident at the same spot killed 42 people.
Look at human being lives lost. Human beings, not animals, not chickens for Christmas, but human beings lost.
My sister colleague who was doing his master's circle, he died, leaving the kids and the wife.
We have details as the Railways Minister and Deputy Western Regional Minister head there after it emerges the dead include the Financial Secretary of the Sikadu constituency. Electoral Commission's Eminent Advisory Committee in crunch meeting with the commissioners over controversy surrounding planned compilation of a new voters register. We'll bring you details as NDC activists picket the EC's offices in the Northeast region. Also more on the Joy News investigations revealing how Ghana lost thousands of cedis after confiscated cars were auctioned cheaply by politically connected individuals, some using cover letters from the office of the president.
It presupposes that a letter was received with the name office of the president. Then when we sat on it as a committee, it surfaced that it is one of the letters considered for allocation.
We have more details plus sports.
Former Ghana midfielder Derek Watson is back in CK Akono to succeed as Black Stars coach.
And later we'll tell you why the Minister of Monitoring and Evaluation is called IGP by his colleague ministers.
So when we started, some of my colleagues called me the IGP of ministers, but it's not correct. My job is not to name and shame.
We'll hear from Dr. Anthony Akotose, including the likelihood of a reshuffle before the elections. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Please stay for details. And it's a day after the gory accident in which 34 people, including a 1-year-old baby, were killed. There is the update. Many more people are in critical condition. A 6-year-old girl who survived the accident is still looking for her parents, and nothing has changed at the location of this accident. Today, top government officials, including the Railways Development Minister, Joe Gate, and the Deputy Western Regional Minister, have gone to the hospital where it emerged a constituency executive of the governing party was among the casualties.
So they just checked, and then this woman has seen that they've lost a relative. Their relative is part of the dead. He said that was their last born, and it's a hefty blow for her. She cannot even control herself.
Well, at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, mothers, fathers, and other relatives continue to troop there to identify their own. Let's head there, and correspondent Richard Kojo-Nyako has been following the story. He's also been following the MP for the area and Railways Minister Joe Gate, who was at the hospital. So, Kojo-Nyako, tell us, there's pressure now on hospital authorities to release the bodies as some families demand their dead for burial. But the hospital chief executive director, Dr. Eric Kofi-Jedu, has been saying some things to you. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, in fact, the scene here is like people coming to check the results of their exams. They first go to the emergency and accident center, and then if they don't find them there, they pray fervently that they don't find their relatives among the dead. People have been pouring in, and the hospital chief executive says that they should calm down with the pressure for them to release the body, because they would have to get some indication from the coroner who will give them the green light to release the body. So I've been speaking with the CEO of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi-Jedu.
From yesterday to today, we have been trying to manage the mass casualty that occurred on the Takoradi Cape Coast stretch. we had a total of about 34 bodies in our mortuary. That we initiated administrative processes and legal processes to get the bodies identified. And then, they're all coroner's inquest, and the coroner will have to give us the necessary directives as to how to proceed. The 25 that are remaining are fine. The ones in the body are in the process of body identification and coroner inquest documentation to go through. And then as and when we get the clearance from the coroner, the bodies will be released to the deceased family. I think that we have seen that the Honorable Regional Minister has sent the Deputy Minister. He wanted to be here himself. He's in a very important meeting in Accra. And the Deputy Minister has come to represent him and the government as a whole. And what is left for us to do is to ensure that we manage the end part of the whole process successfully.
So we heard a story of some two children who were looking for their parents.
It was a bad day for the entire nation. For some of us, a national disaster. Getting infants, we have a record of 3 die out of these accidents and displaced at the mortuary. Is a very traumatic incident, especially for those families that will have to walk through the bodies to identify their own. It's a traumatic situation. We've gotten our psychologists to get involved in this whole processes to encourage and then to help the families overcome the traumatic situation that they are living.
So that's the hospital chief executive, Dr. Eric Kofi Injedu there. But let's talk about the survivors. How are they faring?
Well, yesterday we told you a story about a 6-year-old who was looking for the parent. Yes, the parents are not alive; they are dead too. The mother and the father, plus her sibling, 8-month-old. Were told that she was sitting on the lap of the father when the incident happened, and then she's been able to identify the brother, who also sustained some injuries on the upper part of the arm, and so they are being attended to now. Because they are kids, they are unable to show them where their parents are, and so the psychologists at the hospital, they are working on them. But among the dead is the constituency financial secretary for Esikado Katen constituency, and that is why the MP for the area, Joe Gatti, and he has sought permission from the president to be here. They had a cabinet meeting, and the president directed that he had to be here at all costs.
One of the people who passed away is financial secretary, constituency, one of the constituency officers, Makonde Haja. Very good woman. She lives in Kojoko. We went. We noticed how hardworking she was in the party in Kojoko. Then she became a polling station chairperson. Then we elevated her to the position of financial secretary. She was a selfless person. She used not just her time, but also her money. Cabinet is being held today. Usually cabinet is held on Thursday, but today the president brought it forward for certain reasons. And you cannot, as it were, excuse yourself on cabinet. I mean, the president takes it very serious. We take it very serious because by the constitution, it's our duty to assist the president. Every 2 weeks we meet in order to think about Ghana, the country that the people of Ghana has given to us in trust for them, to serve them. But when I told the president yesterday about what has happened, he immediately said to me that you must go. And so I told him I can't come to cabinet today. And he immediately said to me that you must go. That's why I'm here today. And we are here to, I don't know what to say again. Because I just, her children are here. I don't know what to say again. So I, on behalf of the family, I want to thank the president for the concern he has shown. We hope that what has happened to us will not happen to anybody else. And then steps will be taken to ensure that there is increased safety on our road.
So could you clarify for us, was the minister there because the constituency executive was involved in the accident?
Well, yes, basically that's correct, because the deputy central regional minister came on behalf of the government and the people of Ghana. So the minister came basically because the constituents were part, and he, as the railway minister, says that Ghana should start tilting its energy towards railway development, so that in terms of railway, they don't witness or experience a lot of accidents, and so more energy would be tilted towards railway construction.
So briefly, tell me about the 6-year-old and the brother. Have we had relatives come in to pick them up?
Well, there is one man who used to work with the dad of these two children who came up, and then they helped in identifying them. But there is another woman who is currently receiving attention who had two children also who also died, and they are part of the dead. But the woman is here because of how serious the injury was. The woman has not been able to get in touch with the children and has also been asking about the whereabouts of the children. So it's been a traumatic situation, especially for people who would have to walk through the dead, going to identify their relatives after they go to the accident and emergency center to identify whether theirs is this person or that person. It's really a horrendous experience for the people that come here.
But death toll remains 34.
Yes, it remains 34, and the people that are at the ward currently receiving medical attention, doctors say they are in a relative stable condition.
Richard Kojo-Nyako is our Central Regional Correspondent, and as public anger grows over the situation on the Super Morning Show today, listeners shared various tales of how people they knew have been killed in similar road accidents on that stretch.
Many people died on that road. I quite remember there was this daughter from the UK who was returning back to UK and died.
Yeah.
I have a friend's daughter who was also involved. Honestly,
that's the 2008 accidents that's claimed 42 lives. I know the doctors.
I know them. They were both airport with Lagos town people.
Yeah.
You see, honestly, if we are going to leave driving for only the school drop off without any proper training, just as somebody just said, we were going to have a problem. I have a teacher colleague, my sister colleague, who was doing his master's circle. He died, leaving the kids and the wife.
If we are serious citizen people, those who are in charge must be kicked off. In fact, that same spot claiming lives, and we have people sitting down in the office who are either the road engineering at that place is very faulty, not either. It is. Look at the hula balu going by some people who will get job in terms of registration, new voter register. People are, look at human being lives lost. Human beings, not animals, not chickens for Christmas, but human beings lost.
Careless driving, as you said, people are overtaking when they know car is coming. In a case where they know they are not supposed to overtake and they are doing overtaking, and then some drivers, when they see other cars overtaking them, that is when they also start speeding. And these are some of the things that are causing accidents on our road.
But while the problem persists, there's concern about the seeming lack of action on the part of people in authority to avert such accidents. Our Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kojo-Nyako, for instance, has covered more than 6 accidents at the very spot this one was recorded. Head of Investigations here at Joy News, Malik Abbas-Dabu, captures it all in this comment.
What kind of people are we that one location continues to kill people and we do absolutely nothing about it? One location. Richard Kojo-Nyako, a fairly young man, has reported 6 accidents at the same place, and yet all of the institutions were listed: the National Road Safety Commission, the Transport Ministry, all of these agencies, the Motor Traffic and Transport Unit, then now Department of the Ghana Police Service. All of these institutions exist. We have people there, people who are paid. We have presidents, ministers, MPs, everybody, and yet this same location continues to claim so many lives. And look at us this morning, how pathetic we are as a people. This is not even the biggest news. 34 people died in one accident. 34. Imagine that this had happened in some other country. Imagine the number of resignation. Imagine the coverage, the anger, the frustration. And yet here, because we do not put premium on our own lives, we don't care.
Malik, look at the text console. Daniel, I lost an auntie in that accident. She came to Accra to purchase things to sell back at Takrade. The things have arrived, but she did not.
You heard what transpired on the Super Morning Show today, and Head of Investigations, Malik Abbas-Dabu there. But while the dust is yet to settle on the Cape Coast Takrade Road accident, there is another accident at Abrepo in the Ashanti region. We are learning at least one person is dead. Erastus Asari-Donko has been following the story, joins us on the line. Erastus, bring us up to speed on this.
Well, so at dawn today, we had an urban vehicle, a commercial vehicle, crashing on the side of a tipper truck vehicle at Abrepo Highway. So remember, there is an ongoing construction on the bridge. So that end from Barikesi to Abrepo Junction has been closed to traffic all the vehicles are using an intersection to macro, and this is where the accident occurred. We've recorded 3 accidents so far. This is the third one, and a middle-aged man who was traveling with a daughter died instantly, according to police. 6 others are seriously injured and are receiving treatment at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital.
That's my colleague Erastus Asaridonko. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, Joy News is learning the Electoral Commission's Eminent Advisory Committee is currently in a crunch meeting with the commissioners over the controversy surrounding the compilation of a new voters register. Our sources say the meeting seeks to address concerns raised by political parties. And as you know, opposition parties, including the NDC, PNC, and PPP, have opposed the move, citing the high cost and poor timing. My colleague Kwesi Paka Wilson is monitoring that meeting. He joins us with more. Paka, what can you report?
Right, so the meeting is currently ongoing. It started around 9:30, and MFA, I can report that the chairman of Peace Council, Professor Imran Asante, is present in the meeting. Dr. Cyril Fayose is also present. The chairman of that meeting, the Emashot itself, is also present. And basically, my source tells me that the Electoral Commission is seeking to justify the need for a new voters register, and also how the committee can fashion out a roadmap to solve the misunderstanding and the controversy that the new compilation of the voters register has triggered. So we are monitoring the situation here at the Electoral Commission conference room, where the meeting is currently ongoing, and definitely will bring our listeners up to speed.
That's my colleague Kwesi Paka Wilson monitoring that meeting at the Electoral Commission. Now let's head to the Northeast region, where members of the opposition NDC are picketing offices of the Electoral Commission in the region as part of ongoing protests against the compilation of a new voters register. Executives of the party are, however, unsatisfied by the turnout and have taken a last-minute decision to postpone the protest in about 4 districts. Ilyasu Tanko is our correspondent. He joins us on the line. Ilyasu, so tell us what the situation is as we speak.
So the situation is currently happening in the Wale district, where members this morning went to the office, the EC office in that particular municipality. As we speak, they are just leaving that particular area, and they held placards, some of them wearing red, and showing their placards, telling the EC in that particular area not to take part in that particular nationwide exercise of the compilation of the new register. There were staff of the office there. None of them responded, not even the EC officer.
Ilyasu Tanko is our Northeast region correspondent. Now, President Akufo-Addo has pointed to the peaceful manner in which opposition parties were allowed to demonstrate in Tamale last weekend as a testament of his government's record on security. The demonstration to protest the Electoral Commission's plan to compile a new voters register recorded no casualties. Addressing participants at the New Year School in Accra yesterday, the president said the opposite was the case 5 years ago.
Let me state a Ghanaian irony. 5 years ago, we had demonstrations in Accra calling for a new, credible register in which some citizens were maimed and brutalized. Indeed, a young citizen, Justice Ajakuma, lost his eye and died subsequently last year. May God bless his soul. Today, we're having peaceful demonstrations in Tamale, this time protesting against the decision of the Electoral Commission, whose constitutional remit it is to compile an electoral register, to have now a new, improved register. Fortunately, in this new era, there are no casualties. God bless Ghana.
But the opposition NDC says the president and his government do not deserve the credit for the peaceful nature of last weekend's demonstration. Here's General Secretary Johnson Asiedun Ketia.
When a demonstration turns out peaceful, there are several reasons why a demonstration can turn out peacefully. If you have violent people demonstrating, it cannot turn out peacefully. He knows that his Kumi Preko he did. It was a violent demonstration. So he's known to be leading violent demonstrations. So that is why demonstrations which always are led by the president when he wasn't the president turn out to be violent. But I'm sure, did he remember that where was he speaking?
Oh, at the New Year's School, sir.
Right in the center of Ayawaso West Wokon constituency. And he had the courage to be talking the way he was talking. So could anything affect his scruples? That I'm speaking at Ayawaso West Wogon, where tax were unleashed on innocent voters, with many people injured. And in fact, I established a commission which investigated the matter and brought recommendations that perpetrators should be punished, and I freed all the perpetrators.
General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, now member of the Finance Committee in Parliament, has criticised the Ministry of Finance's purported order to the Security and Exchange Commission to shut down investment and fund management companies. In the letter dated May 23, 2018, available to Joy News, the Securities and Exchange Commission was partly directed by an official of the Ministry of Finance to take the action to protect customers and investors' interests as election year approaches. Chief Director of the Finance Ministry, Patrick Nomo, said the move will let the public have confidence in government and also prevent any impending demonstrations that will make the government unpopular in an election year. NDC MP on the Finance Committee of Parliament, Isaac Adongo, has been criticizing the directive.
This particular letter only goes to confirm the suspicion that we have articulated over the time, that actually what they call the reforms in the financial sector was nothing more than an attempt to achieve three ends. One was to target entities owned by political enemies, and two, to prop up Data Bank, which is a direct beneficiary of all that is happening within the SEC-regulated environment.
Isaac Adongo there, but there's a latest development on this particular issue, and Joy News editor George Riafe joins me in studio with more. George, what have we gathered?
Well, what we are picking up from the finance minister since the story broke was that the letter in question is more fake. It didn't come from the Ministry of Finance, because even they are claiming that the signature and the stamp actually were fake. They didn't come from the ministry. They even raising questions with the language of the letter. No public official with the ministry would even write such letter, and what they can say, that letter is not true. It didn't come from the finance ministry. The Securities and Exchange Commissioner also responded that they are saying that they've checked their records. Nothing of that sort has even come to them from the Ministry of Finance with respect to any directive to do XYZ. And they think that it's unfortunate that this thing has come out, and they're actually doing their own investigations to find out where this letter came from. But as far as they are concerned, it didn't come from the finance ministry. It wasn't signed by any director at the ministry, and even raising questions about the signature and the stamp on this said letter that is in the public right now.
Joy Business Editor George Riafe, thank you very much. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, more on the Joy News investigations revealing how Ghana lost thousands of cedis after confiscated cars were auctioned cheaply by politically connected individuals, some using cover letter from the office of the president.
It presupposes that a letter was received with the name office of the president. Then when we sat on it as a committee, it surfaced that it is one of the letters considered for allocation.
And later we'll tell you why the Minister of Monitoring and Evaluation is called IGP by his colleague ministers.
When we started, some of my colleagues called me the IGP of ministers, but it's not correct. My job is not to name and shame.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation. Over the past 45 years, we've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports now. Huntsman Sando with all the fire joins us in the studio.
Now, former Ghana midfielder Derek Boateng is back in CK Akono to succeed as Black Stars coach. The former Asante Kotoko coach is tipped to take over from Kwesi Appiah, and Boateng, who featured in Ghana's first 2 World Cup appearances, believes the GFA have made the right decision.
I've been in the national team for so long, and all these coaches that are coming, I don't see what they are bringing into us, you understand? But CK, CK has been here before, and CK has been a great coach right now. In the game I think Ghana last game they played in Cape Coast. Sure. I was there. Yeah. After Kwesi Appiah finished talking, he gave CK Akona the platform also to talk to the players and the kind of message he deliver. And I can see how passionate he is and how he has the experience. And I know he can do it. You understand? The only thing we need in Ghana right now, everybody have to support him. It doesn't matter who you are, you have to support him. His teammates, us, everybody, we have to support him. Because when he's good for all of us. When Black Stars win, all of us win.
Former Ghana international Derek Boateng there throwing his weight behind incoming Black Stars coach CK Akona.
Thank you very much, Hans, for the latest from the world of sports. Now, Joy News investigations have uncovered how Ghana lost thousands of Ghana cedis after confiscated cars were auctioned cheaply by politically connected individuals. At least in one case, the duty on a vehicle was captured to have been paid for by the Office of the President. Investigative journalist Kwete Nate reports that in one instance, only 25,000 cedis was paid on a vehicle when the estimated duty ought to have been 80,000 Ghana cedis.
It's a 2004 VW Touareg. This confiscated vehicle was allocated to one Charles Niteko Tete. A quick online inquiry shows the import duty on this vehicle should range between 63,000 and 88,000, but it was auctioned at just about 25,000. The beneficiary provided a cover letter issued by the Office of the President of Ghana. To verify this, we sent the chassis number of the vehicle to the GRA short code 1477. It returned the make and model of the vehicle as VW Touareg and the importer as the Office of the President with a duty of 25,381 Ghana cedis paid. This amount is just about one-third of the estimated duty. But this is contrary to the provisions of the Customs Act 2015, which stipulates that, quote, the price at which a forfeited motor vehicle is disposed of, whether by auction, sale, allocation, or any other method, should include the duty and eligible taxes on the motor vehicle.
You go through the same process of clearance, so you pay the access duty, and then you go ahead and pay your demurrage, all the taxes, all the levies, all charges, proud to release from the port.
The GRA platform shows no taxes were paid on the vehicle. Head of auction at the GRA, Prince Akwabwa, tells Joy News his office's interest is not in who exploited the system, but whether duties were paid on the vehicle.
Office of the President.
Yes.
I think that one was allocation.
Okay.
Yes. It presupposes that a letter was received with the name Office of the President. And then when we sat on it as a committee, the letter, in fact, emphasis is not given on the name, but it surfaced that it is one of the letters considered for allocation. So we allocated the vehicle as such, and then the access duty was paid.
By normal terms, must Office of the President pay duty on a vehicle that it wants to use?
Office of the President is big. So somebody writes a letter and puts Office of the President there. We are not after the name. We want somebody who can afford and who can pay the access duty.
The full documentary or the full investigative piece will be aired tonight on Newsnight. Meanwhile, former chairman of Confiscated Assets Committee under President Mills, Carl Wilson, is accusing the Director of Political Affairs at the Chief of Staff at the Office of the Presidency, Frank Asiedu Bekwing, of abusing his office in allocating 151 cars to some selected beneficiaries. He spoke on the Super Morning Show. And just before we go, as Monitoring and Evaluation Minister, the perception by many is that Dr. Anthony Akotose goes around cracking the whip on his colleague ministers to ensure the president and government's vision is fulfilled. But he says that is far from the reality. He's been speaking to my colleague Evans Mensah on the PM Express, and he says his role plus the likelihood or otherwise of a reshuffle before the elections. He's been speaking about that.
Monetary evaluation has always been part of every government. It was there with Mills, it was there with Kufuor. The only difference is that now there's a ministry set up specifically for that. We review my assessment of what the ministries have done within the confines of the government results framework. This is what Cabinet has agreed that we do. As far as I know, in this quarter, this is what this sector is doing. And these are the reasons why I think they're not achieving it. My recommendation is that we need to change this, we need to change that. Cabinet will say, we disagree with you or we agree with you. So we accept some recommendations, and the next quarter we see there's improvement. I don't go directly to the president.
Okay.
I do it in cabinet.
Wow.
So otherwise, it's as if I'm going
bypassing.
When we started, some of my colleagues called me the IGP of ministers, but it's not correct. I'm facilitating the work of my colleagues. My job is not to name and shame.
Monitoring and Evaluation Minister Dr. Anthony Akoto saying just before we go, my colleague Becky Dako has what's trending and what people are talking about on social media. Bex?
Yeah, MFA, a lot of people are talking about the Cape Coast Takoradi accident, and Kobina Atta Kakra Forsen says that condolences to the family. I am not surprised at all. What I witnessed in Ghana whilst on the STC bus was shocking. These VIP drivers drive like maniacs. They overtake in curves by heart with no regard for safety. Nana Ifua Arikwa says that if we can all work hard on this case of careless driving and prosecute drivers for these kind of driving, it will help us all. Yes.
And catch Becky on Joy Prime, E with Bex. Thanks, Becky.
Thank
and
you
that's
so
it for
much.
the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Dr. Menzel Taville has living word. I am MFA Pao.